In this video, we're going to talk about amortization or amortized loans. Amortized loans are loans that are paid off in equal periodic installments or payments. Each payment is split into two parts. One part goes to pay down principal and the rest goes to pay off interest. We can generate an amortization table for a loan, listing each period what the initial balance is, what the payment is, how much pays down principal, how much pays interest, and what the final principal value is. This is valuable to us if we're running a business because we can write the interest payments off on taxes, or if it's our home because we can write the interest payments off on taxes. Otherwise, an amortized loan is just a standard annuity. So for example, suppose that you took out a $6,000 business loan that you need to repay in equal installments over 4 years at 15% interest. The timeline for this loan, oops, just a second, I gotta go the other way. The timeline for this loan would look like this. I borrow $6,000 today and I pay back some amount over 4 years, and the property of an amortized loan is that at any point in time the value of the loan principal is equal to the present value of the remaining payments at the interest rate contracted for in the loan. So in this case, the present value, $6,000, is equal to the present value of the payments and it's an annuity. So finding the payment is actually quite easy. You multiply both sides by 15% and divide by the adjustment factor for an annuity. And you can calculate this out fairly easily. Or if you want to use your financial calculator, you start out with a $6,000 loan, interest rate 15%, 4 years, you pay it down to 0, use that to compute CPT, not M, the payment, and let's see what that gives you. So a $6,000 loan today paid off to 0 over 4 years at 15% interest, payments $2101.59. Now you can use your calculator to break that into principal and interest payments every year by going to the second amortization button. P1 is the first period you want to consider the principal and interest payments for, period 1. P2 is the second period. So we're going to go from period 1 to period 1. So this will be the first year's principal and interest payments. The balance of the loan after the first year is going to be $4798.41. The principal payment is $1201.59. You'll notice that's just $6,000 minus the balance, or to be perfectly correct, the balance is $6,000 minus the principal payment. The interest payment in the first year is $900. That is 15% of $6,000. So while your calculator can show this for any given year by just entering that year as P1 and P2, it's a little bit of a pain. It's much easier to see the amortization table in Excel. So I'm going to build one here for you. Period 0, the principal that we started out with is $6,000. That's the initial principal at the beginning of the first year. Now my payment here is going to be constant. Now Excel has the same functions as your calculator. You can use the payment function with the arguments interest rate, 15%, number of periods, 4, present value, $6,000, and if you have it future value, I'll just put it in 0 to get the payment. Notice it's the same thing as we get on our calculator, but it reverses signs, so I'm going to go back and hit a minus sign here because that kind of confuses me. Now this payment is split into two parts. Part of it pays principal and part of it pays interest. Well, the interest payment is just the initial principal times the interest rate, 15%. $900. Well, that's what our calculator said too. And the principal payment is whatever amount of the payment, 2101, doesn't go to pay interest, 900. So just subtract them, you get 1201.59. That's exactly what the calculator said too. And then the new principal is equal to the original principal minus the portion of the payment that goes to pay principal, 4798.41, which is what the calculator told us. Now, because I've created these out of formulas, I can just cut and paste them down. And here's the nice thing about an amortization table. If you get it right, it shows you paid off to a balance of 0 at the end of the loan. But more important than that, for tax purposes, it also highlights the amount you pay in interest every year, which you can write off in your taxes. So that is pretty much all there is to amortization and amortized loans.